28 out of 195 countries have legalized same-sex marriage. The earth is dying due to plastic pollution. Self-harm rates among students is increasing. Is Trump the worst president the USA has had? There definitely seem to be some opinions in the room. These are just a few of the discussions I've heard being debated recently. As you get older, people start to expect things of you. What do you want to do with your life? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to spend your life with? But there's one expectation that can often surprise you. You're expected to find your own opinions. Now, luckily, we find this quite easily, and in a very human way, we start to care. Now, whether that's family, friends, social rights, injustice, the environment. Everybody cares about something. But what's the point of caring if you're not going to do something about it? Now, in my opinion, I didn't have the most conventional childhood. I moved towns, lived in 2 women's refuges, bullied for being gay, and suffered with my own mental health problems and resorted to comfort eating. I know there's nothing I can do about what has happened, but I know I can do something about what will happen. Now, it's normally at this point, somebody says the words, shout out, shout your voice out there. But I disagree. Shouting your voice out there isn't always the best option. It's very interesting to see when somebody has an opinion and they want to do something about it, how do they deal with people who disagree? If you want to do something about something, somebody will agree and somebody will disagree. It's how you deal with these disagreements that are the most interesting. You very often put these down to 2 things: ignorance or arrogance. Some people will say things just to get a reaction. But there's some people that maybe just don't know. Is there something you can do, a video, a talk, something visual that you can do to help talk with this person? But using your voice and talking isn't the only way to get your voice out there. I believe that talking in the vocal sense is the best way. Not just shouting out, but actually talking through it, speaking and listening. But what else can you do? Do you like art? What can you create? What can you show people to get your message out there? Do you like music? What pieces do you know? What music can you create? Do you have skills in IT? There are charities and organisations out there that will need your help. Do you feel you have no skills and nothing to input? When you talk about something like this, it's very often that somebody will say that sentence. But the important thing to know is, if you can talk, somebody will listen. Now, there's 3 main platforms to be able to get your voice out there. 1, independent. No matter where you are, as you go through school, college, university, there are people who are going to need you. There are people who's going to need to know it's okay to talk. What can you do to be that person to go in somewhere and go, you know what? Yeah, we can talk about these things. 2, local. In the city of Lincoln, there's great work being done by young people in universities, colleges, and places like TEDxBrayfordPool. There's great work being done. 3, global. We are lucky to be here today to discuss, talk, and debate without fear of being hurt. I can stand here as a gay man and know I will not leave this building and be killed by my own government for talking about my experiences. Last year when I went to Uganda, as you left our little hut on the side of a road, there was this lake. Side of this lake were 3 cars, lorries and cattle. The lorries and cars pouring diesel and petrol into this lake. On the other side of the lake was the children of the local village, drinking from the water because they had no choice. Down the road was the local hospital. Uganda is facing an epidemic of TB, tuberculosis. 60% of those with TB in Uganda co-carry HIV/AIDS. That's 60%. As I walked round the wards and went into one of them, there was this boy, Tom, 6. Tom had this smile on his face as I walked into this room. I chatted with Tom. I turned around. I had this chat with this lady. And by the time I turned around, Tom had died. Tom had TB for 3 months. Apologies. For 3 months. In the village across was this lady in her hut. Laid on the ground, she also had TB. Her ribs on show. We stood there speaking to her. We turned to the nurse and asked, "What can we do? How can we help save this lady?" She turned around and said, "Nothing. There's nothing you can do." We left Uganda knowing that this woman had already died because this hospital could not afford to take the equipment 10 minutes down the road to save her. As a community and as a country, we often say the sentence, "What more can we do?" But that's the question. What more can we do? You're lucky in Uganda, if you're in hospital, that your family can feed you. If they can't, you rely on volunteers to use the local facilities in the hospital to help cook your food. You are lucky if this is not your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now I know not everybody has the opportunity to go over to Uganda to spend time doing volunteer work and charity work. But you don't have to. It can take only up to 10 minutes of a day to look at yourself and ask, what can I do? But what's the point? You can spend hours writing a social media post that only gets a few likes. You can spend months organising an event that nobody comes to. You could spend your whole life trying and feel like nobody's listening. The point is you tried. You may not have thought it would work, but you signed that petition. You let that person know that you were there for them. I don't know what impact I made in Uganda, but I know that halfway across the world, there's a wall that has my handprint on it that says, you know what? I tried. It is the everyday person who has the ability to do something. If you can speak, if you can talk to someone, you can do something. No matter who you are, we have one life and we have one earth. And for the people who can't do anything, I ask, what can you do? Because at the end, we should be able to turn around and say, you know what? I tried. I did my best. And there's nothing that I could be prouder of. Thank you.